Okay, so they go back to the LeBlanc ban. So let's see how EDG adapt, as this time out, it's actually the Jayce first pick, much like that game number 1.
Yeah. It's just going to rinse and repeat, right?
And we just rinse and repeating, so we go Sejuani Azir from WE. Huh? How are we feeling, guys? This is what it's going to be. There's one out of 2.
Here's the change. They go for the Poppy this time. This is a Poppy lock. No, it's not.
No, it's not, Joe. Come on now. Like, buddy, this is the salty run back of game number 1. So, Ivern and Jax, yeah? Or do you blind pick an AD? I mean, I feel like if you blind pick an AD and then you allow Cube to get 3 with 2 bans, then like third pick with 3 bans, it feels a bit bad, doesn't it? So,
there's an argument for taking the Jinx away from Hope, like ban things like Desire.
Yeah. They might be doing it again, man. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, it works. They won game 1. It wasn't clean, but they won game 1. I don't mind them just going for the run back again. Ala's Jax is something to be feared. Whether or not they do go for the Jax is a different question, though. And I kind of like what you're saying about the idea of locking in an AD here, but it's like they are just going to go for those solo laners.
Okay, so solo laners, the same draft of game number 1. So did WE just give Cube his Ksante? Did they feel like there was any need for adaptation? No. So now we look towards the bans, and if I recall correctly, game 1 was a while ago, and I haven't written them down, unfortunately, so, you know, brain's a bit mush. Pretty sure it's just going to be 4 AD bans across the board, and then we kind of default to see where we end up. I feel like the only issue I had with the draft from WE was obviously initially it was just one form of non-committal engage, but the Janna definitely did pay pretty heavy dividends. This time out though, EDG removed that Jinx, right? That was the thing that really kept WE afloat in that game number 1. Let's see where they land now.
The big difference in this one is that in game number 1, EDG banned the Milio and then banned the Nautilus. They focused on that support role. With EDG banning the Jinx, like Ashe taken off of the board, I feel like EDG kind of have to ban Xayah unless they want to play into it, but I don't know what they would be locking in. But then again, does Hope play Xayah? He's played it 4 times this split. He's lost every single game. Does WE actually want to play Xayah? I mean, they've got Azir on the comp, so that would be multiple birds. So there's that angle, but I don't know. I don't know if they really care about that. Aphelia's taken off the board.
Oh, I was going to call out Lucio Milio, actually, but yeah, okay, so this could be the angle. Even if it's not Lucio Milio, you could still land on Tristana. You're actually just waiting for the matchup like of the AD to see which one is probably better. I imagine that Hope probably goes towards Trist, if I had to wager a guess. Even though he's not shown it, that could be where they're going. But obviously, Lucian was the other super aggressive option. We'll see, though. EDG have to answer this, and it could be a bit awkward. Meiko is just going to run the Nautilus, it seems like. I was wondering if he would go towards something a little bit spicier, right? Some kind of, Heimerdinger or another enchanter to just one-to-one. But on the side of Uzi here? Or Hope? Because I don't know.
Oh, we saw this in the split. We've seen Uzi playing the Sivir. He was inches away from a pentakill on that Sivir as well. Works well with setting the team up. I mean, this is his most played of all time, the Ezreal. Who knows what he's going to go for? The Varus locked in the end. As a very, very strong poke composition. If he goes for that lethality off the AP here as well, alongside that Jayce, that is massive damage. WE, what do they want to go for? Lucian, like you say, available. Sivir, he's going to be locked in for Hope.
Okay, so Hope, I believe, his first game of Sivir this year. So definitely an interesting one to pull out at this moment. Obviously, the other strong combinations that we're used to seeing with Milio, things like the Tristana, the Lucian, even the Twitch, which was like kind of hovered, maybe it was an idea being spoken about amongst the WE people, can occasionally be alright, but into a lane like Nautilus, Varus, very rough. Sivir, though, use the spell shield. You can block out on the poke every now and again, but crucially, also the Chains of Corruption can be blocked with that spell shield too. So you can cut down on that like 2v2 damage significantly from Uzi and Meiko. Very interesting time to pull this out, but it's a team fighting front to back.
And Azir, like you say, but EDG, the vase, Jayce Varus, the vase comp.
The vase,
can be something terrifying. But it looks like it will be on hit for Uzi. With the lethal tempo.
To the crowd.
That guy's t-shirt says do a kickflip. What a legend. What a legend. The amount of Uzi signs in the crowd as well. Like, even though we're in WE's arena, I feel like EDG, they pretty much have the home crowd advantage everywhere. You know, EDG were already pretty popular, and they got Uzi. Like, this is about as popular yet, isn't it? Uzi going for the lethal tempo, though. With the longsword start, you got to believe that's going to be the static Shiv build coming on through from him. Not going for the lethality. I could be wrong, but let's be honest, nobody plays lethality, lethal tempo.
No, not these days. It's typically like that Shiv into AP build, which to be fair, right? You know, EDG are dealing with two pretty beefy front lines, so it would actually even out that damage profile just a touch more, right? You think about Jayce, obviously a lot of physical damage. Jax, you know, he's got a lot of magic damage baked into his kit now, but he's still predominantly dealing AD, so Varus could be used as a way to also just kind of keep that damage profile mixed and make it very awkward for those frontliners to itemize against the damage dealers that EDG have on their side. Curious to also see Heng's not going for that invade like he did in game number 1 against Jiejie. So Jiejie won't have as rough as an early game as he did in that first one as Dredgeline.
Oh, hook from Meiko. Uzi and Meiko again in the 2v2. This time it's hooked.
Whoa!
What? Just throws it sideways. Uzi not going to flash to try and get the kill. Knows Lwandy has that heal. Both AD carries so low on HP here as Lwandy pulled in. Uzi is so low. Trying to walk away with his life. Still has the heal available, but Meiko's low as well. Oh, this is about as tight as it can get in bottom lane.
Mate, someone go check on Hysterics. I think that first boomerang probably hit him in the head all the way in Australia, but the second one connected. Comes back.
What that laugh was there. Just the noise is coming out of me at this point. The amount of stress my heart is going through in this series is off for the charts here as Heng wants to find the entrance into the bottom side. Meiko and Uzi realize what's going on, and Heng not willing to commit the flash.
This gives a window, actually, for Jiejie to go and invade the top side of the map, right? He's got Smite. He can instantly mark a camp and take it away. If he's uninter... Oh, Cube.
Oh, hang on.
Cube.
In trouble. No, he's okay. He's okay. He's out of there. But Alan, look at the wave. This is so hard for Cube as...
1-1 a W.
Yeah, he could get flashed on. Cube knows it. He's going to recall.
Yeah, okay. All right. Deep breath, everyone. Cube did a
It's
flash.
0-0, by the way.
It's 0-0, yeah. Not a big deal, you know, just very classic early game from the LPL. But Jiejie was able to slip into the red buff and actually smite that red buff away. Ivern, technically the quickest counter jungler in the game, because if he's got smite, he just has to mark the camp and that's it. The camp's gone. So, takes that one away from Heng. And he's got more camps on his side to also retreat to. So feels good in that early jungle battle for CS, and you know, just trying to get to that level 6 mark ASAP. Super important for Ivern, right? Scales off levels, but also just generally hitting Daisy super early on to just have a massive advantage in skirmishing. It's always huge. So Heng tried to, you know, make a little bit more of a mess of what was going on in that bottom side skirmish. Couldn't actually add to it. Does get punished.
Yeah, couldn't quite get involved. I was surprised he didn't just go for like a regank. Like, step into the brush, pretend you've left, and then just go back in. Like, Uzi and Meiko stepped back into the lane pretty confidently there, but didn't go for the play. TPs across the board. And we kind of return to sanity for a moment here. And I kind of want to revisit comps a little bit, because we talked about the front to back from WE. I feel like for EDG, you know, with the poke available from the Jayce, with the Ivern, for anyone that missed game number 1, I feel like we need to revisit how on earth you play an Ivern composition.
Yeah, so it is in this case, right? They've got the Varus and the Jayce, so I'm expecting them to play it out a lot more like a poke comp, right? I still think that Uzi is going to look towards this hybrid Varus build. We'll see. You know, he's got double longsword, Joe. Maybe he does go lethality. I doubt it. He's got lethal tempo, but at the end of the day, you kind of just want to play to try and take control of an area, right? You can brute force in occasionally, right, with Daisy as well, and then you just set up shop and you try and stand your ground. You go forward, you look for dredge lines, you buff up whoever is taking the most damage as Jiejie, and you just look to keep them alive with all of your additional healing from things like the redemption as well. So that's kind of how you're looking to play it out. There's a pretty meaty trade onto Uzi here.
Heavy trades back and forth, but crucially, Hope, I've been watching like a hawk on how well he does CSing under tower. Sivir, one of these champions that you can ruin yourself as engage. I want to be forced to flash away, but Uzi's the target for the time being. Has to flash over that wall. Meiko now taking a couple of chunks as Heng disengages once more. FoFo's moving in. Not sure who's trying to hit there, but a great hook onto Heng from Meiko. Force flash. Alan has found a solo kill.
Allah has found the solo kill. And WE, you know, losing more as well from that flash from Heng. They saw FoFo award, so they lose out on the bottom side in terms of summon spells, but they also end up losing Cube in the 1v1. He's missing a wave, he's got no teleport. Huge swing now in that side lane, and we saw how powerful eventually in that game number 1 Jax became, whilst also having all of those Ivern shields. He was an absolute menace, so he's getting an individual lead early on by himself. Think what he's going to look like in 10 to 15 minutes time.
I mean, there's I guess 3 games in a row now where Ala is kind of destroying Cube in the top side. I mean, it's as simple as that. Wow. Just jumps at him. Just takes him out. Cube, not ready for the level 6.
Yeah. That's a lot of damage. But I mean, since Jax had his rework, right, is about that extra burst from that ultimate pop. And sometimes it can catch you off guard, even if you're used to playing against it. Or in Cube's case, Cube, I think his 2nd or 3rd most played is Jax. Like, oh, it's not Ksante. He is on, you know, one of these more carry-orientated picks typically. And still, kind of just caught out by how much damage Allah had on offer there. And now he's going to fall further behind Sheen Caulfield's Warhammer. And all he has to do is wait for his ultimate to be up, and the trades will always look fine.
Now this is going to be so tough for Cube now. I mean, Ala, big CS lead, has a kill. There was first blood as well, so bonus 100 gold there. Has a Sheen in pocket, and the wave is pushing towards him. If all of those other factors weren't bad enough for Cube, it's feeling a little bit like game number 2, where Ala got a massive individual advantage. Cube really struggling in this series. And we look to Shanks once again. Shanks, the franchise player. Shanks, the MVP of game number 2. And I feel like, generally speaking, has been the best player on the team across the course of this series so far. See if he can maintain that kind of performance. Hook in onto Lwandy as the ult comes out. Onto Uzi. No cleanse from the player. And it means that Hope can finish this kill off. Meiko still has flash available. Hope, I'm assuming, has spell shield. That's why he's played so dicily around the hook. And we'll be able to just clear that wave and crash one.
But, you know, you're saying we need to look towards the franchise player. I'm looking towards Heng as well, right? He's the one with the agency in this game. The opposite end of the spectrum. The younger of the 2. And again, it is those 2 who typically are the ones that make plays happen. They've made the play now onto Uzi. They'll get that dragon. It's traded out on the opposite side of the map by EDG. So they'll get the Herald at the very least. But still, Uzi falling behind is always going to feel bad, right? We've seen how powerful he can be and how willing he is to make plays when he's ahead.
Yeah.
So them falling behind now is kind of, I want to say new territory, but it does make you wonder how EDG will now adapt to that, right? Arla is on the top side. He is incredibly far ahead, and they were willing to put resources into him whilst he's playing the Fiora. Will Jiejie be willing to do it whilst he's on the Ivern and he's on the Jax into a lane where he's already pulling ahead?
That'll be the big question, won't it? Where does Jiejie go with this Herald? Where does EDG plant their eggs? Which basket shall the eggs go in? As they do still have the gold lead, despite the fact that Hope managed to get that kill. Has evened up in CS, but that's the thing, that was kind of evening up with Uzi. Uzi was building a CS lead before that play. And when it comes to neutral objectives like AP Varus and Jayce, they've got a lot of poke. They've got a lot of control when it comes to, you know, 3rd Drake. I wouldn't imagine that they're looking towards the 2nd Drake, but when it comes to 3rd, denying Soul Point, that's where EDG could start to muscle their way into the game. Jiejie doing a good job on the Ivern to just keep himself even in farm, scale up towards later as he looks towards his top lane. You asked if he's happy to look towards Ala.
I think he is.
The answer is yes.
I mean, now, big question is, will they have enough damage to realistically dive him? I think the answer is a big fat no. But I'll definitely put the pressure down. Jiejie?
Yeah, actually.
It's pretty awkward.
A bit weird, Daisy, not long for this world. Heng gonna smite it. Poor Daisy, poor Daisy.
No one
just
asks
pulled
how.
in. I know. Well, you can't ask how, because she's dead. Literally can't talk anymore. Can Daisy talk in the first place?
She makes growl
so short. Yeah.
Let's communicate. Oh.
That's a stun onto Ala. That's an all-out onto Ala. That's Ala in big trouble as Cube. Low as well. Ala will get out with his life, but only just. We were too busy talking about Daisy. We never thought to ask how Ala is.
Ala wasn't feeling too great until Jiejie came and put the trigger seed on him. Kept him alive there, and also actually offered him a fair amount of burst, which probably would have made Cube have to disengage, or at the very least, look to kind of just step away. But Ala able to flash out, so pretty safe, but still, losing out on that flash does feel bad. The wave crashes for Cube, which kind of takes a little bit of pressure off of his shoulders, but the issue is, Arla's taking a reset right now. 97 CS, 1 kill. I think he's got Divine Sunder. Yeah, he's got Divine Sunder already, so that top lane matchup, it's done so. Cube cannot trade in that matchup right now for the foreseeable future. And if EDG want to put pressure down, I feel like that will be the best place to do it. But again, Uzi falling behind, another plate's going to drop off here. Caught back up in CS and does have the static shift, so we'll be able to stabilize a little bit down here in the bottom side of the map. But you want to get him into a position where he can throw down the Chains of Corruption, it can connect onto Shanks or Lwandy, and he can chunk them out heavily or just outright kill them.
I'm curious what build Uzi will go for, whether he does just commit to the same like AP Varus build that we have seen. Slight changes to the Varus coming into this patch where the procs of Blighted Quiver, so you know when you get the 3 stacks and you hit a Q or an E, doesn't hit quite as hard as previously. However, the on-hit passive of Blighted Quiver is going to hit slightly harder. So slight change on where the power is in Varus's kit. Whether or not that's enough, I mean, pro players are notoriously fairly slow to change on these kinds of things. So whether we actually see any difference today will be a different question. But certainly something I'll be looking towards in the inventory. Speaking of inventories as well, Jiejie finishing that Moonstone off, so feeling pretty strong on the Ivern as he moves towards this top lane once more. 3 plates left and there's a Herald in pocket.
Demolish as well, it's going to bring it down towards Dead. And Arla, he knows he can trade because he's got the Divine Sunder up. With Ivern in his back pocket, the healing and the shielding already at this stage. Monstrous. Herald's going to go down up here. So much extra gold goes into the pocket of Arla, and even Jiejie enjoys that. Remember, playing Ivern, your items are cheap as hell. So
yeah,
getting that gold injection actually is pretty huge to getting towards the second item here. They're just going to keep on going.
Here. Nobody's here to defend Cube. WE have just completely abandoned their top laner.
So there's pros and cons to this, I will say, right? Huge cash injection into Arla and into Jiejie. Wonderful. You have to now base. Are they going to get a 3rd charge as well? Just for the sake of it, they are. So they have to base, they have to spend this gold, they have to dominate the dragon. They have to absolutely like run over this this fight if they can even get there in time, right? Otherwise, that lane, which was already really Arla favored, is now effectively over, right? You've broken 2 towers in that lane. It's going to be really difficult for Arla to pick up CS as consistently as he was. There could be a window for W to kind of just, you know, barricade themselves in.
FoFo up here, Ala could go bot.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Rearrange. Drake onto the map. As you say, EDG kind of needs to take control of the bottom side of the map here. 2,000 gold lead for them. And now moving in to try and get vision. How do WE approach this one then? If their gold lead is in hope right now.
They don't. Okay. Approach it. I think after this dragon, maybe the Herald, right? Look for a rotation. What you could have done on this reset is actually send Hope and Lwandy towards the top side. It seems like they're just going to elect to maintain the same lane assignments and then maybe rotate over. That even depends on whether or not they want to contest this Herald, because again, with Arla being on the top side and being so fed, he's almost 1,000 gold in ahead of Hope, who was obviously the most fed member before all of that gold went through.
He's over 2,000 gold up on Cube. That is bonkers. And look at the jungle difference as well. Jiejie over 1,000 gold. Like, that push in the top lane has skyrocketed both Ala and Jiejie.
Don't forget, right? Because, again, we'll mention the items of Jiejie are so much cheaper than, you know, his counterpart. The fact that, you know, he's up that 1,000 gold, not only does it mean that Heng, you know, great, he's got that Warmogs, he doesn't have tier 2 boots, and he's also a mile away from a second completion on an item. Jiejie going towards, I think that component only off the top of my head goes into Mikhail's, if I recall correctly, so maybe it does go into Redemption.
Yeah, I think it's Redemption as well.
Chalice one does. So
it also goes into Helia, but he's got a bit thick, so
yeah. So either way, both those items very solid pickups, right? Oh, FoFo.
FoFo's in trouble. TP comes out from Ala to try and answer, but in the meantime, he's knocked back. Hope doesn't have the damage to finish the job, though. And here comes Ala to beat them down with a lamppost. Shanks might be able to save his carries, though, as Ala, good flash on the Emperor's Divide. WE surviving. Meiko trying to collapse. There's vision there, and a Sun Disc will keep WE safe.
That was very, very scary for WE's bottom lane. I'm not entirely sure about that dive either, right? Did they ever really have the damage? I'm not too sure. Off screen, Herald was secured by EDG, and they will now also pick up this tower in the tier, in the mid lane. They might even just about be able to get in. No, that Herald should be taken down. But either way, again, you know, WWE look for a play onto FoFo pretty unprovoked as well. And they will secure themselves a tier 1. Meiko, can he be caught out maybe with a well-timed ult from Heng?
Shanks, forces the flash. Shanks trying to slide in front to block the anchor. That would have been so clutch if he managed to get that. But Uzi in the mid lane can just one-shot the minion wave, so no siege to be had here. Zala gonna use the space in this bottom side, try and look towards towers there, look towards the 1v1 advantage that he has. Feel like we need to take a second to take stock of where we're at in this game, because even though the kills are low, it's been fairly fast-paced macro. It's a 3,000 gold advantage for EDG here. And with this Ivern composition, they did win game number 1. It was not a clean win. They got massively behind WE in game number 1. This time, though, they're the ones ahead. And they won with a very similar composition to this one when they fell behind. It's looking good for EDG right now.
It's looking very good for EDG right now. Looking towards those second items to come in, specifically for Uzi and FoFo, as they will slowly come online. That'll be when they really have full control. I mean, they have next to full control right now, but WE still have ways of forcing fights, right? They've still got the Sivir armor, they've still got, of course, the Sejuani, so they will always be able to find an angle for now. It's really about this top side where there's this massive deficit between the two top laners. And Jiejie's just going to come and shadow.
Where it needs to be, yeah. It's just like, okay, let's go again, Alan. Let's look for 2 towers at once again. Daisy going to be used to buy space. Daisy actually died to the tower. Cube doesn't get the 50 gold. EDG will say that. It's the small wins.
Small wins in life, huh? That's what WE are looking for right now. They need small wins to claw back into the small increments, right? Wherever they can find it. I feel like the issue is, you know, you try and attack Arla, well, Jiejie's just kind of back pocket. It's very difficult to really ever attack Uzi because he can clear the wave from so far away, where he can just wait for the wave to come in or attack once and then just basically Q and E the entire wave and it dies. How do you ever, like, I mean, you might just get damage hit, like, it's just gone. So, like, how do you ever really break this tempo without realistically catching EDG in rotation? I think maybe you look to overload numbers in a side lane, but then you're always probably going to be giving up something somewhere else for that play, right? So you have to make it worth your while.
I'm trying to listen to you, and I'm trying to be serious, and then I've got Ivern in my ears going as he's doing his camps. Like, what are these sound effects on the sugarcane Ivern? Is it sugarcane, sugar rush? I don't know. Whatever.
Candy King Ivern. All right, well, bud, you best get your names right.
Sorry, I do apologize.
The big tree's in the house. You best put some respect on his name.
He's the little tree. Surely Maokai's the big tree.
Well, Maokai's like wide. Ivern's about 18 feet tall. So
okay, big tree, chunky tree.
Big, yeah, there you
over.
go. Big tree, chunky tree.
Meiko, chunky anchor as we call him. That one didn't work. Never mind. Angry anchor. There we go. Angry anchor cleanses with the McHale's. Jiejie fast on the fingers with that one. Death charge onto Hope here. The Shanks forced out of the play, but the shield keeps him alive for now. FoFo on the front, Heng running out of allies. He'll be burnt down as Ala looks to head them off. Look, he's herding them. He's denying their escape. They know he's there, but what can they do about it? Ala is absolutely monstrous in this game, and the tower is on like 1 HP at this point. As EDG, they're corralling WE. They don't want to let them escape, and a minion wave is on the way. WE are running out of minutes on this earth. Hope gonna try and push forwards to buy space for his team. The spell shield used as the stun comes on through. There goes Shanks, and Hope is next. Uzi trying to finish the kill as Ala jumps on forward. Cube left alone versus FoFo and Jiejie, and WE are wiped off of the face of the rift.
It's lambs to the slaughter. WE were just corralled into that bottom side tier 1, and EDG are just wolves waiting for their meal. EDG will pick up this dragon as well. They should just about get everything else they want. A couple of jungle camps, take that away from WE. After this reset, Baron's on the map and there's nothing else for them to focus on, and you know they are going to go and put the pressure down there. This game might just be over. I don't know if WE can really overcome a deficit like this. I'm just gonna say how it is. Look, I know game 1 was how it was, and you know what? Maybe the series has been a bit too rapid for me to ever call a game.
I was gonna say, like, if they dare take 2 inhibs, that's where we know EDG will lose. Take another look. His ultimate's just blasted on both sides. It was like EDG just a bit of a gold gap in this fight, honestly.
more gold gap. No one can really get through health bars. The damage dealers, I think, crucially, like Hope, very short range, very risky to step up, and Shanks was the one focused, so he's not able to actually return any damage that's being chucked out by EDG. And at this point, as we get to the tier 1 down here, there's just nowhere for anyone on WE to go, right? And it's a very easy collapse. Arla's able to get the chase down, finds herself 2 kills. And even managed to find Lwandy on the back end too. So it's basically an extended ace by the end of it, 5-0. And all they have to do is take all of the vision that has been set down very temporarily by WE, choke them out, suffocate, take these lanes in terms of priority, and then that'll be it. WE eventually will have to check in, and if they don't, the Baron goes over, and then they certainly lose the siege even with the wave clear options that they have.
EDG in a phenomenal spot, and it has to be said once again, Ala, what a game he's having. What a series he's having. The Jack's 3-0, fantastic flank there, fantastic landing phase, absolutely destroying Cube across the course of this series. And EDG in such a phenomenal position, but again, every single game of this series, we've seen either team get massively ahead and then throw that lead away. EDG now starting the Baron off, but vision is here for WE. They're 6,000 gold down, but they're not giving up without a fight just yet. Lwandy behind it as the TP comes in from Cube. Engage onto Meiko here, but he flashes out to safety. And now depth charge blocked by the spell shield of Hope, but the hook isn't. Cube locked up. They can't quite commit for now. Ignite comes on through, dashes away from the skill shots.
Sticking power, oh, Ala.
Ala looks for the re-engage. Good dodge from Hope there. Heng trying to get away, but Hook's back in. Meiko has been on point with the hooks, and there's one for Uzi. EDG, a single pick. Is that enough for them to start Baron? That's the jungler dead.
That's the jungler dead, but they might find more.
Meiko just does not miss. Mr. Meiko happen. Fantastic stuff from him. As Ala jumping forwards once again. EDG complete control here. 2 kills now. Surely that's enough for a Baron.
Yeah, Mr. Make It Happen. That's Ala this game. EDG. They're not going to actually look to start this Baron. WE, actually, no, they will. They started up now. How many members of base? Who's teleporting back? Who's doing what? Let's see. Vision comes back. Teleports coming through from the solo lanes of EDG, so they're committing to this Baron. Meiko's on this flank. And WE, I don't actually think they know where Meiko is. Hex slash over the wall.
Oh, to Lwandy there. Lwandy just gets shreked by the shields alone, and Meiko is over the wall again, and Shanks has been found. Baron taken with a bonus Azir on top. That is the cherry on the cake, and EDG, boy do they love cake.
Boy do they love cake. I mean, they've got Candy King Ivern on their team, EDG. Can you blame them for having a sweet tooth in this game 3? And this is finally a game that looks decisive for now. You know, we're going to hold our breath until the Nexus actually drops. Given the trajectory of game 1 and 2, you know? Yeah, exactly. You know, I'll wait until I actually see that Nexus blow up. Thank you very much. And Uzi, observers hovering over him. We'll talk about him. Had a bit of a rough-ish early game, but come through and is still capable of dishing out the damage. And this is what we said earlier. Like, even if you put him behind, as EDG, you can, you know, go and put the gold into Ala, go and put the gold into FoFo. He will still find the way back in, and you can see even throughout a lot of this replay, always able to find a window to step up, and Ala buying so much space. And all of these frontliners, and again, you know what? I said Ala was Mr. Make It Happen. Meiko is so many strong dredge lines this game. Just set up for EDG to find success.
And then hide in the brush.
Hide in the brush, Meiko.
What is the range on that hook, man? What is that? He's like under the tier 1. That was, I mean, Meiko's playing out of his mind, but he's also just Nautilus things, man. Like, again, another hook. Cube pulled in this time as they siege with the Baron. Ala on the bottom side of the map here, trying to get a push off of his own. And these cannons are going to do so much. And the brushes as well make it so difficult to defend. But then with a Jayce and a Varus, how do you break this siege?
Well, you do have wave clips. So if you can touch the wave, it's great, right? You know, Sivir, Azir, Ricochet in the range of the Sand Soldiers can definitely provide a fair amount of yield. Ala?
Stun comes out here, but the Redemptions keep Ala alive.
Oh my god.
Counter-Strike comes back up and he'll be okay. Survives those Sand Soldiers. The value of this Ivern is through the roof in this game. And that'll be mid-tower, taken down. EDG making it work. And that'll give Ala the space, I think, to finish the tier 2 on the bottom side as well. Shanks is moving over to try and defend it, but the second Shanks leaves this mid lane, that opens up the mid inhib instead. So inhibitor taken in favor of EDG. They've already got 2 Drakes and a third one is on the map right now. And that's if they don't just move over to finish off this bot tier 2. Instead, Shanks moved over to defend it. Oh, he put himself in a precarious spot there. So EDG just waiting for that next wave. They'll finish the tower, they'll go to the Drake, and they'll continue the absolute dominance of the map that we're witnessing here in Game 3.
Yeah, they will. They want to close this one out as cleanly as possible. They don't want the shenanigans of Game 1 and 2 to repeat themselves.
Ala?
Ala, maybe Ala does, we'll never know, but he's just so undisturbed, unbothered.
Moisturized in his lane, flourishing as Ala. He's a frog in a pond right now. Destroyed a second inhib. I thought they would back off after the tier 2. EDG having none of it. That last 10 seconds of Baron used beautifully. And now they can take the Drake on the way out. But dare I say, Jamada, EDG have just taken 2 inhibs.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
This series,
don't, stop it. All right, this is the moment now, right? How do EDG cleanly close this game out? Do they wait for Baron? Do they go to the top lane and siege his 5? Do they find a pick?
Do they get free pick onto Hug in the jungle, who's face checking as Dragon goes down? It's looking like that might be the answer. Hung falls. Lwandy was trying to face check with him. Ala, flash for flash. He'll just keep chasing this one all day long. Lwandy, you're going nowhere on this one, pal. Ala had just TP'd as well, so this is just gonna keep going.
Oh no! Lwandy needs to hit the plant. Lwandy needs. Oh, okay, it's fine. So I was worried because Ala could have jumped to the plant. Either way, he's gonna just chase Lwandy to his base. I was gonna say Narnia, but eventually we'll get there.
But it's 3v4.
Yeah.
They can just end the game. They can just end the game. Lwandy can't get back to the base here. The ball comes in onto Cube, and Cube is gone. Hope, can you clear the minions? That's the question. Him and Shanks against the world here, defending underneath the tower. We've seen Shanks playing tower defense under these towers once this game. How many balloons can he pop? Hung has returned. Lwandy finally made it back to the base. Sivir is here. It's a damn good comp for clearing waves. Ala denied entry here as FoFo the target. And Hope wants to find a kill, wants to find a series, wants to find redemption. No! But FoFo finds a shot blast instead. Ala pushed onto the fountain. Shanks gets one, but EDG still 3 strong. Uzi still firing on all cylinders. One Nexus tower to fall. Hung and Shanks against the world. The linchpins of WE in 2023. And they've managed to hold on. Jiejie, fast fingers. Captain Jack in the jungle there. But WE hold on. And now a TP Jamada. We ain't stopping anytime soon. Cube has his all out available. He's looking for Uzi. Pulling him over the wall. Doesn't even need to use the ultimate. Shanks grabs the kill.
Big shutdown as well for Shanks. No, surely not. This isn't the beginning, right? I mean, no, it wouldn't. 3 games in a row. It couldn't. I don't know if I could bear to see it, Joe.
I think it's happening.
I don't know if I could see another turnaround. Speaking of turnarounds, how close was FoFo to dying? Because Hope had an angle to open up, right? Had the Milio, had the lethal tempo probably stacking up too. No attack resets just come through.
Man,
so much damage.
If that's a crit, he wins.
Yeah,
if that's a crit, he wins.
I don't know how many he did or didn't. Oh my god. Well, WWE don't want this to be a comeback. All right.
Here we go. We're just going to run at Baron. 8k on that one as the fight kicks off, but they're all in the pit and they're against a ton of AoE. I don't know if WE can survive this one. Ala jumps in. Everyone's stunned. Everyone's going down. Shanks pushes them away as Baron is taken by EDG, and it's an absolute blender in the pit. He's spinning around and he's taking names. Ala, the MVP of this one. I'm calling it before the game even ends. Phenomenal game from EDG. They massacred WE in the pit, and they'll take game number 3.
This game hasn't even been close, has it? This has been a night and day performance from EDG. And they will close out, and they will take us to a game 4 where they are the ones in the lead, and they are 1 game away from making it to round 2. WE need to find adjustments, and they need to find it quickly.
Wow. EDG. I mean, what a game. You know, Shanks holding on again. Like, Shanks managing to save the game at the end there, trying to get a couple of kills.